Hello, everyone. I'm Luclia Dotto. I'm the Europe Head of Community, and today I have the pleasure to be with Olivier Lazar, our Vice President of Social and Community Impact, and I will be conducting an interview around the Sustainability Summit that Europe chapters have organized for the 8th of November. Hello, Olivier. How are you
Hey,
today?
Lucilla. Good to be with you today.
Thank you for making the time for this interview. And I would like to understand a little bit what is the interest and the PMI why about making this sustainability summit and what's the connection between like PMI and the summit that chapters are putting together.
So, sustainability overall is an important concern for PMI and for the profession of project management as a whole. It ties to different aspects. First, the main, I would say, objective of any project is to create an outcome that produces a sustainable value for the stakeholders. So it means that nowadays, when we look at project management, the aim of the game is not anymore to deliver something on time, on scope, and on budget. It's about delivering something that really creates a change in your environment, and that change is supposed to be beneficial, and it's supposed to be beneficial for quite a long time. It's also about how you're using your resources in a manner that these resources are sustainable, so your organization is actually resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a matter of also using project management to create a positive difference in the world. So as we move in this direction, as we promote these principles, our chapters are, of course, engaged into that movement as being the core of the community at PMI.
Thank you, Oliver. That's super relevant. And I think like chapters are using this element of people, planet, and projects to communicate the Sustainability Summit. So it's really connected on what you have just shared. So thank you for that. I also would like to understand, because I know that the event, it's an Hours for Impact event. So I would like to understand how PMI globally is supporting this initiative about Hours for Impact. Where do you see the current situation and what's the future state in terms of Hours for Impact?
So Hours for Impact is a program which we have launched in 2019 for the 50th anniversary of PMI. At that time, we had the ambition of gathering 75,000 hours of community service from our members, or certification holders, or chapters, and our partners. We went up and beyond that, and since then, every year we crossed a new frontier of community service. Today, so it's now September 18th, 2023. We have already, just for this year, went beyond 175,000 hours collected throughout our community. And we have calculated that this total effort delivered by our community represents a value of more than $6 million. So it's an amazing achievement, which embarks our community in really using project management to make the world a better place. One thing which we have added also in the development of this program is this perception through the lens of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And we see that our community is really committed into mainly quality education and innovation, infrastructure, and growth. So what they do is to bring the skills and competences of project management to bring a better society in their environments, in their communities. And this is super encouraging.
Oh, thank you, Oliver, for that message. I think that's what makes PMI uniquely PMI, the opportunity to connect, to learn and to impact, to give back. So amazing, amazing message. And perhaps making a double click or asking you a little bit more about what are the PMI sustainability goals, if you can comment a little bit more on that one.
So we have different layers of sustainability approach at PMI. We have one which is about ourselves as an organization. What do we do around this? So we do several things. The first one is, which we have started quite recently, is actually about tracking our carbon footprint. As you said, Lucilla, everything at PMI is around the community. And the community is the core of PMI, the heart and the soul of PMI. And so there is absolutely no point of telling to our community that we can't meet in person, that we can't gather, that we will not organize Leadership Institute meetings or summits or congresses or conferences. We'll still keep doing that. But we have to be conscious and aware of what is the carbon footprint of all of this. What does it represent? What does it mean? And also working on how to compensate that carbon footprint. So we have established several partnerships around that. One with an organization which is called Evergreen, with whom we plant trees along with the evolution of our carbon footprint. Recently at the Africa conference, we had a social impact activity within the framework of Hours for Impact, which consisted also in planting trees to cope with that. But there are other things which we're doing. Another part of our commitment lies around diversity, equity, and inclusion. This piece, which covers two of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, is aimed at bringing this message first that diversity is a positive force in your organization, in our organization, in our community. We all know that it's a given fact that the more diverse is a team, the more performance, the more innovative it is. Also pushing the message around equity of treatment. One message here, very, very strong, goes through our engagement for women in project management. We have a new volunteer team specifically dedicated to that. We have signed an important partnership with an organization in the US, which is called Women of Project Management. So Women in Project Management is an action within PMI. Women of Project Management is one of our partners working around that. I was just in Singapore. Yes, I know, huge carbon footprint, but I was just in Singapore with Formula One in schools, which promotes teaching and development of STEMs, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, with youth, but especially with young girls. It was very interesting to see that the team who won the Project Management Award, which was sponsored by PMI's Educational Foundation, was a team from India, only composed by female students. It was very interesting to see that the two teams coming from Saudi Arabia were mainly composed of young girls. So we're going in the right direction here. And the final aspect of inclusion is also very, very important. The more diverse, the more equalitarian, the more inclusive will become our society, the more impactful we will be in making it a better place. So from something which is mainly internal, we also expand to our community. And through the different actions, like our partnership with the United Nations Global Compact program, for whom we're a patron, we are able to develop systems of measuring the impact and share this impact with other organizations.
Thank you, Olivier, for that comprehensive. I'm jealous that I couldn't be there with you, but it seems like a really, really inspiring event. And we have been discussing a little bit about the Sustainability Summit in the context of PMI. But now if we move a little bit about yourself, because I know that you are super passionate about sustainability, So I would like to ask you your why. Why sustainability matters to you personally?
Because it's a matter of resilience, and it's a matter of responsibility. As I said, there are many different dimensions in sustainability. Sustainability taken from a social impact lens is about giving back because we had the chance to receive a lot. And I am personally a good example of someone who has received a lot from this community, from PMI. I'm now a PMI employee, part of the senior leadership team of PMI, which I'm very grateful and honored. But before that, I have been a volunteer and involved in the PMI community for almost 20 years. And that brought me a lot in my career, in my personal and professional development. I wouldn't be the person I am, I wouldn't be the professional I am without PMI and without this great community. And it brought me so much that it's my responsibility, my accountability to give back a piece as tiny as I can do with my limited means, but to give back a piece of that to the ones who are in need of support and who will benefit from it. So that's on the social aspect part. Another aspect, and we're lucky to be involved with a profession that basically triggers everything. Having an impact is coming from a project. The better you manage that project, the better you structure it, the more people are educated about it and integrate this, as PMIEF says, as a skill for life, the better and the more sustainable over time will be the impact of that project. When we do a project, we do it with people, by people, for people. It's not a process. It's not a technicality. It's really a human science. It's a human thing. If we ever forget the human aspect of a project, we miss it all. And so the idea of any project is to construct an outcome which will have a positive impact on the people who are surrounding you. And the longer this positive impact lasts, the more sustainable it will be, the more benefits it will create. And finally, there is maybe something which is more related to the business side of things, in which I believe a lot. I think that it's your competitive differentiator. It's Darwinism, basically. If you don't take care of the resources which are entrusted to you, if you don't take care of the people who work with you, what will happen? You will lose these resources. You will lose these people. And then your organization will simply disappear. So it's also my responsibility in my executive duties at PMI to make sure that we attract the best people, that we retain them by treating them with respect and equality. So they're happy in what they're doing. So if they're happy, they're productive. When I was teaching leadership, I had a slide which said that happy staff is productive and happy staff is expensive. As Branson was saying, take care of your people, they will take care of your business. And it's just a natural thing to do, to treat people well and to treat people with respect.
I love that message.
I find it at PMI.
Yeah, I love that message. And I think it's super aligned with the core of this event, like people, planet, and projects. So I think it's super, super aligned. Just closing, because you have already shared some interesting thoughts, but I don't know if you would like also to comment perhaps what do you value most that may be lost because of climate change, biodiversity loss, or pollution crisis, like a little bit of like on the impact on the planet side.
So what we see now is climate change. First, climate change is real. That's happening. It has already happened. We see that it creates a flow of migration without any precedent in history. And that we need to do something about it. But we can't do anything now about the rising seas, for example. I mean, yes, we can slow down our carbon footprint. Yes, we can. And it's even difficult. We can meet our goals in terms of rising the temperature. It doesn't change the fact that the seas are rising and that people are moving. And it's not only an economical impact, it's a human impact. We need to put in place the means to do something with these people in need who are losing their land, who are losing their work, who are losing their homes. We can't just ignore it, and we can't just lock our doors to them. It's our responsibility, but it's our collective responsibility. Problem with that is you have countries that do a lot and you have countries that do nothing, which wastes the efforts of the ones doing something. And I don't know what is the human or political solution, something like this, but that's, I think, one of the major challenges which we will be facing. And again, it's people on the planet, and we need to put the necessary projects in place to respond to that.
Thank you, Olivier. I think like this conversation has been really insightful for me. I don't know if you want to just close with some message, anything else that we haven't touched on that you would like to share today.
Sustainability, the overall framework of sustainability, as I said, personal, social, and business is not just nice to have. It's a matter of survival. Every single person who will not be involved into that will not be able to integrate oneself into the society as a citizen, as an employee, as an entrepreneur. Every organization who doesn't take it seriously is deemed to disappear. It's just Darwinism. So the question is not, should I do it? The question is, what projects should I initiate to be part of that? And how do I integrate sustainability into my project? I very often hear people asking what project management has to do with sustainability. No, it's the other way around. Projects have to integrate sustainability into their development. Otherwise, they will become useless. And if it's useless, just don't do it.
Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you all for joining the Sustainability Summit 2023.